For 3 years, I sat in meditation every single day thinking that I was rewiring my brain for abundance. But I was actually strengthening the exact neural pathways that kept me stuck in 6 figures worth of debt and experiencing struggle, anxiety, and depression. And Dr. Joe talks about how most people meditate in survival mode. And that is exactly what I was doing. I was literally programming my subconscious mind to stay broke, to stay stressed, stay anxious, all while thinking that I was becoming this abundant, enlightened person. The crazy part was that the moment I discovered I was doing it completely backwards, that is when everything shifted. And within 6 months, I had cleared that debt and my entire relationship with money transformed. My entire life transformed, actually. It's like a snowball ripple effect into other aspects of your life. And so I want to show you the exact 5 mistakes that kept me trapped in my old patterns of thinking for 3 years. 3 years, okay? And I'm going to show you the simple test that you can do right now to see if you are making these same mistakes that I was. Because if you are like me, you might be accidentally reinforcing the very problems that you are trying to solve, okay? Oh, by the way, that the third mistake that I'm going to mention is so common that most meditators do it daily without actually realizing they are sabotaging their own progress. Now, let me take you back. So there I was in my little meditation space, you know what I mean? I looked like I had my shit together from the outside. But Dr. Joe explains this perfectly, that our external environment doesn't mean shit if our internal environment is still running the same old programs. So every morning I would sit there ready for meditation. At least 1 hour, eyes closed, trying to manifest abundance, while my nervous system was literally in fight or flight mode, stress mode, because I was consumed. I was stressed out about my $157,000 in debt that I was carrying. Now think about how insane that is. It's like trying to plant flowers in concrete and wondering why nothing is growing. But nobody told me this when I was starting out. Dr. Joe probably explained it, but it just went in one ear and out the other. Because he actually says you can't create a new future while you are living in the emotions of the past. And that is exactly what I was doing. Meditating from a place of lack, fear, struggle, survival. I couldn't get out of my analytical mind, right? Like high beta brainwaves. And here's where it gets really messed up, which leads us to the first mistake that I was doing. And it was that I was meditating in survival mode without even knowing it. Now, this looks like, and you're probably doing it too, if you are sitting down to meditate, but your body is still, carrying the stress, all the stress from your day. It could be experienced like your shoulders are tensed, a tight jaw, even how you close your eyes, it's like you're gripping your eyelids together. You know what I mean? Your breathing is shallow. That is a big one. You're like in, out, in, out, in, out. Very, very shallow. And you're tense. You're very tense. You know what I mean? You're not soft or relaxed at all. But I would think to myself, oh, look, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine that I'm tensed. I'm meditating now. This will fix everything. I was wrong. And Dr. Joe says that when you are in survival mode, your brain is literally designed, listen carefully, to focus on problems, threats, about what's wrong. So when I was sitting down to manifest or mentally rehearse, my brain is like, hold up. You got bills to pay. You have that 6 figures of debt in your bank account. Problems to solve? What are you talking about? Now, here's the sad part. Well, let's say the funny thing is, I spent 3 years reinforcing this pattern every single day. 1 minute of high quality survival mode meditation. Man, it was like going to the gym and doing bicep curls with your anxiety, right? I was getting really good at being anxious. But here I am thinking that I'm getting enlightened. Oh my God. Our nervous system, it doesn't care about our spiritual intentions. If you are stressed, it's going to keep you stressed. If you are in lack, it's going to keep you focused on lack. So, what I learned was before that I can meditate effectively, I had to regulate my nervous system first. Okay? That is why Dr. Joe emphasizes on brain and heart coherence. Because we literally have to shift our physiology, neurologically, everything from survival mode to creation mode. And for me, this meant taking 10 minutes before my actual meditation to do coherent breathing, right? Getting myself into a relaxed, coherent state. 4 seconds in, holding it, and 4 seconds out, right? I had to do this until my body actually felt relaxed. And I know that sounds so basic, and your mind is probably like, no, it has to be more complicated than that. But please, this one shift changed everything for me. Because once your nervous system is back to homeostasis, regulation, your brain can actually access the creative, abundant states that we are trying to cultivate. Okay? But that is just mistake number one. The second mistake is even more sneaky. The second mistake is I was focusing on what I didn't want instead of what I did want. Focusing on my undesired reality instead of my desired reality. Okay? This is where it gets psychological and honestly kind of funny when you realize how backwards we actually do this. And so I stumbled upon one of my old meditation journals from back in 2020. And listen to this shit. I was writing, I want to be debt free. I want to stop being anxious. I want to not worry about money anymore. Can you see the problem in that? What is the problem? Every single intention was focused on the absence of something negative. Okay? It's like telling someone, don't think about a pink elephant. Well, what is the first thing we're going to think about? A big pink elephant with its butt right in front of your face. Oh man. And Dr. Joe talks about this all the time when he says our subconscious mind doesn't process negatives. And so when you say, I don't want to be broke, your subconscious mind hears broke and goes, okay, got it. You're the boss, more broke, coming right up. So, I hope this is clicking, because there I was every morning meditating on all the things I didn't want. 1 minute of high quality focus on debt, anxiety, financial stress. I was basically manifesting in reverse. It's similar to ordering at a restaurant and you're telling the waiter everything you don't want to eat. I don't want this fish. Oh, this pasta, no thank you. This salad, no thanks. I'm not a cow. And the waiter is like, okay, so what do you want? And you're like, I don't know, just not those things. Okay, you know what I mean? That is why I was never getting what I wanted. But here's what changed everything. I wrote every single intention in a positive tone. Well, in a positive, the reversed, the polarity of that. Positive, present tense language. And so instead of I don't want to be in debt, or instead of I want to be debt free, it became I have so much to give and share, and that it's natural for me to give. When I wrote down I want to stop being anxious, I don't want to be anxious, it became I am calm, confident, and at peace. Okay? But here's the thing, and this is where Dr. Joe's work gets really deep. You can't just change the words, but you have to change the feeling. You have to feel those intentions with elevated emotions. Because like what he always says, your brain can't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. But it does distinguish between thoughts with emotion and thoughts without emotion. Okay? And so, let's dive deeper into that, right? When I was in my meditations and I was thinking about my debt, the 6 figures worth of debt that I was carrying, that was charged with a negative emotion. And so that was creating more problems in my life. And so when I started meditating on abundance, I had to actually feel abundant, be abundant, and feel it in my body. So what does abundance feel like, you may ask? For me, it felt like expansion in my chest, relaxed shoulders, okay? And there was like a sense of ease and flow. And I had to cultivate that feeling first. And then I would attach my intentions to it. Now that is a charged intention, right? Instead of a lifeless intention. But this is where I really messed up, because I was trying to think my way into a new reality instead of feeling my way into a new reality. But even when I figured this out, I was still making the next mistake, the third one. And this one, oh my God, this one's going to blow your mind because it's so counterintuitive. And the third mistake was I was trying way too fucking hard. I was trying way too hard. Yep. And I know. Like, Kev, how can you try too hard at meditation? Trying too hard at manifestation? Isn't any effort good? But in the weirdest way, effort creates resistance. You see, when you are trying really hard to manifest something, your brain interprets that effort as evidence that you don't already have it. Think about it. Do we try hard to breathe? No. But here I was during meditation, gripping my intentions like I was trying to squeeze water from a rock. I was meditating with the same energy that I use to deadlift at the gym. And Joe calls this trying to force an outcome. And it's coming from a state of lack. And you have to hear what I'm saying. It is very, very exhausting. It is very exhausting. Like, why would you want to do that to yourself? I remember specifically this one morning in particular, I was just sitting there, mentally rehearsing more money going into my bank account. I was concentrating so hard that I gave myself a headache. Like, I literally strained myself while manifesting abundance. It's similar to like trying to fall asleep by thinking really hard about falling asleep. Sorry, the harder you try, the more you can't sleep, right? The more active your mind is, the more tense your body is. Now, here's what I learned from studying Joe's work and just really getting immersed in it. And it's that the universe responds to your state of being, not your state of trying. And so when we are trying to manifest something, we are operating from the assumption that we don't have it. Okay? But when you are being the person who already has it, you're operating from a completely different frequency. If you can even get into that state before meditation, wow, you are now meditating as that state of being. And it's all about the difference in frequency, right? The difference between the frequency of wanting and the frequency of having. Two completely different energetic signatures. And so, instead of trying to manifest $10,000, be the person who already has $10,000, right? How does that person sit? How do they breathe? How do they feel in their body? Because that person isn't trying to get anything. They're just being themselves, right? If I already had $10,000, I would be more relaxed. I wouldn't stress about $50, right? I would make decisions more differently. And this shift from trying to being, huge, okay? But mistake number 4, oh my God, this one almost kept me stuck forever. And listen carefully. Mistake number 4 is I was meditating on outcomes instead of identity. Now this is a big one. This is a big one. I got trapped in this for years without even realizing it. Like, I was focusing on, I want $50,000 in my bank account. I want a successful business. I want to pay off my debt, right? All outcomes, all external things. Okay? They were all external things. Paying off my debt, having a successful business. But Dr. Joe taught me that you don't get what you want, but you get who you are, who you are being. Okay? Let that sink in for a moment. We don't get what we want, we get who we are, and we get our state of being. We get who we are. We get who we are. And that is why I'm so obsessed with identity work right now. Because if my old identity was struggling in life, well, what's going to happen? I will keep struggling no matter how hard I meditate on success. And now, if your identity is person who's bad with money, the universe wants to love you and adhere to your free will. So you will keep being bad with money, no matter how much you visualize wealth. So instead of meditating on having $50,000, I had to start meditating on being the type of person who naturally attracts and manages money well. Okay? Instead of focusing on a successful business, I focused on being a person who exudes success. Right? So focus on the identity. Focus on the identity. Because it is the difference between wanting to be tall and being tall, right? If you are tall, you don't think about being tall. You are just tall. You move through the world as a tall person. That is a pretty bad example, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. But here's when this really clicked for me, the identity work. And I was in meditation one morning. And instead of visualizing money in my bank account like I normally would do, it was like a download, a new thought downloaded into me. And it was like embody the identity of someone who is financially abundant. Huh, okay. How does that person wake up, right, in the mornings? How do they make decisions if they are fully abundant? How do they carry themselves, right? Do they include everyone when they introduce themselves? Do they use people's names? Are they more relaxed? Are they more of sharing the stage with everyone? You know what I mean? Letting people talk instead of them talking. I guarantee you that person who is abundant doesn't check their bank account with anxiety. They don't stress about bills. If they get a parking ticket for $100, they don't stress about it. They make decisions from abundance, not lack. Or not, oh my God, this was me. I was making decisions from a stressed out state all the time. Okay? That is how an abundant person feels, thinks, and is. And that is their identity. The crazy part was when I made this shift, within 2 weeks of this shift, I started making different decisions. I invested in a course that I'd been hesitating on. I raised my prices, and I said no to low-paying clients. Not because I was trying to manifest money, but because that's what an abundant person would do, right? But even with all of these shifts, I was still making this fifth mistake. This fifth and final mistake. And this one is the one that, this is the reason that I nearly gave up on meditation entirely. And the mistake was, write this down, I was expecting immediate results and giving up when I didn't see them. Are you doing that? Expecting immediate results and giving up when you don't see them. And this is so embarrassing to admit, but I used to meditate for like a week and then check my bank account expecting to see thousands of dollars magically appearing. Maybe because of what I was conditioned to when watching, The Secret, other YouTubers saying that as well. It's the same thing as going to the gym once and then checking the mirror to see abs, or expecting to look like The Rock. Like, where's my abs at? This business, this fitness and gym stuff is bullshit. Dr. Joe talks about neuroplasticity, right? Where it's our brain's ability to rewire itself. Guess what? It takes time. It takes time. Yes, it can happen in an instant, but it takes time. You are literally changing neural pathways that have been carved by years or even decades of old patterns of thinking. Think about it. Our old thought patterns are like highways that have been traveled on for years, right? They are well maintained. There's maybe 8 lanes in them in these highways. It's deep, well established, and our thoughts naturally want to go down that path. And so creating a new neural pathway is like creating a new trail through thick forest with just a dirt road. At first, it's going to be barely visible. You have to consciously and willfully, using your will, to choose to walk that path over and over again, until it has been established as the new highway. Okay, more established than the old one. And the answer came to me when I stopped looking for external results and started noticing internal shifts. After about 6 weeks of consistent practice of this, I realized I wasn't waking up with anxiety anymore. No more anxiety about my debt, no more checking my bank account obsessively, no more checking emails thinking if something miraculous has showed up. But I started making decisions from a calmer, more centered place. And then, that's when the external results followed. But they followed the internal transformation first, okay? I first had to become the person, then started living the life of that person with my eyes open. Not just in meditation, but with my eyes open. The meditation didn't fail for 3 years because meditation doesn't work. Okay, this is my own personal experience. It failed because I was doing it wrong. Okay? Dr. Joe is the man. He's the man. I was doing it wrong. So I want to ask you, are you meditating in survival mode or creation mode? Are you focusing on what you don't want instead of what you do want? Are you focusing on your old reality instead of your desired reality? Your problems? And just go to the desired reality. Are you trying to focus to force outcomes or allowing them to unfold? And are you meditating on external results or internal identity? And are you expecting overnight miracles or trusting and surrendering to the process? And come on, if you answered honestly, you probably found at least one area where you have been making the same mistakes that I made. And the thing is, I wasted 3 years because nobody taught me this stuff, right? Dr. Joe did teach it to me, but I was learning it from a survival state. But you don't have to. You don't have to. If you want to go deeper into this work, then please book an alignment session with me, and I'll help you take off the complexity of manifestation once and for all. The link is in the description. But remember, you got this. Get out of survival, get into creation. Brain and heart coherence is your friend in all of this.